Welcome back to Jackson Squared. Today we're going to be looking at TEK 6.3c, which says, I can represent integer operations with concrete models and connect the actions with models to the standard algorithm. So our first question of the day is, how do we represent a negative number and how do we represent a positive number when we're talking about concrete models? We typically have a key. A key tells us what we're going to use and what everything represents. So for positive numbers, our positive is always represented with a yellow dot, and negative is always represented with a red dot. So anytime you see me put a yellow, that's going to be a positive, and anytime you see me put a red, that's going to be a negative. Okay, so this is our key. It's going to help us on each one of these slides as we work the problems. There's also something else we need to know. When we combine a red and a yellow, something magical happens. Well, we just said that a yellow is positive, so a yellow represents a positive 1, and a red represents a negative 1. And when we put those together, when we combine them, a positive 1 and a negative 1, we get 0. We get 0, and it's called a zero pair. So anytime you see a yellow and a red together, they combine to make a zero pair. This is information we will also need to be successful today in our problems. So let's jump right in. So our first problem says 4 plus the combination of the opposite of 3. Remember, anytime we see a negative sign, we call it the opposite of. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to circle the number and any signs in front. So I'm going to circle the 4, and then I'm going to circle the opposite of 3 and that plus sign in front of it. Okay? So you're going to circle everything. And then I have a little something that I like to say. I like to say we want to simplify, verify, and clarify what we are working with. So then we're going to take this and draw a little T chart. Sorry, not the perfect T. And we're going to clarify what we're going to be working with. So here, in front of the 4, there's no sign, so I know that that is a positive 4. And in front of the 3, we have the plus sign, and inside the parentheses, there's a negative sign or the opposite of sign. So we're going to combine that to be negative 3 or the opposite of 3. So next we want to do is we want to model all of these things that we see in front of us. Typically, I will put it inside of the mat. Let's see if it fits. So I have a positive 4. So I'm going to, I'm going to put 4 yellows because we say yellow represents our positive, and that went behind the screen. So let me put it here, not in the mat. 4 positives. And then I have the opposite of 3, which means red, negative 3. So I'm going to combine 3 reds. And I'm just going to line, I'm just going to line these up with the yellows, and you'll see why in a second. So we simplified over here, clarified and verified, or simplified, verified, and clarified. So now we've modeled. I have 4 yellows, which are positive, and 3 reds, which are representing our negative or the opposite of. What I want to do now is look for 0 pairs. So the next question is, how many 0 pairs are there? So I'm just going to write ZP to represent 0 pairs. How many 0 pairs do we see? So I see 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets. So how many 0 pairs? I'm going to write 3. So once you identify your 0 pairs, you want to remove them because remember, now they just represent 0. Okay? So remove the 2 0 pairs. And if I remove everything that I put an X through or a line through, what do I have left? Hopefully you see the only thing I have left is 1, a positive 1. So 4 combined with the opposite of 3 would give me a positive 1 as my answer. That's the answer to this problem. Any questions? Let's try another. So again, the first thing you want to do is circle the number and the sign in front. So I'm going to circle the opposite of 8, and then I'm going to circle the opposite of 4 plus the opposite of 4. And again, we want to bring out our little slogan that we're using, which is simplify, verify, and clarify. So we've circled everything, but we want to simplify what we circled. So what exactly did we circle? So I'm going to draw a little line here. I know that in this first circle, I definitely circled the opposite of 8. And in the second circle, I definitely circled the opposite of 4. So I have a -8 is going to be combined with a -4. Simplify, verify, clarify. So now I'm ready to model. So the first one is -8. So I'm going to drag over 8 reds. And my second number is the opposite of 4, or -4. I'm going to drag over 4 more reds. And I have to borrow this red from McKee. Move words. Okay, I borrow that one. So then the next thing we need to do is we want to say, how many 0 pairs? How many ZPs? How many 0 pairs do we see? Well, I don't see any yellow. Do you? No. So you have to have a red and a yellow to make a 0 pair. So I see 0 pairs. So since there are no 0 pairs, there's nothing to remove. So we just add up everything that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I see 12 red counters or chips, and they're all negative. So the answer is going to be -12. -12 is my answer. Any questions? Let's try another one. Again, let's remember, let's pull out our slogan first this time. We're going to simplify, verify, clarify. So let's go ahead and simplify. What are we looking at? I'm going to circle the first number, and then I'm going to circle the second number and the sign in front. Okay? And so then I'm going to verify. What did I just circle? I circled the opposite of 12, and I circled a +3. So -12 and a +3. So I'm going to combine -12 and a +3. I need 12 counters. I don't know if I have 12 counters. So let me see if I can copy some. Should be good to go now. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? And then I'm going to combine that with a +3. So now to bring 3 yellow counters over. 1, 2, oops. and 3. Let me just move these down so we're not confused. So I need to next look for zero pairs, ZPs. How many zero pairs do I see? Well, I know that I see 1, 2, 3 zero pairs. So if I see them, I can remove them. 1, 2, 3. You're out of there. Strike, you're out of there. So what's left? This is what's left. So I'm just going to count up what's left. I see 9 and they're all red, so I know that that is a negative 9 that is left. Any questions on how to combine integers? So remember, we want to circle the sign, the number, and the sign in front. We want to simplify by drawing our T-chart, verify what did we circle, and clarify that we know what we're working with before we get started. So I hope that this was enough examples to help you get started, and now it's time for you to practice. Good luck.